What's going on, everybody? It's Jeff here. Welcome back to the channel. What another exciting day in the market. 3 in a row, starting with last Friday. The action just continues. Now, I said in videos last week that we were due for a little bit of a relief bounce. The reason why I said that is because we were getting to some oversold levels on both the SPY and the QQQ. Nothing can move in one direction dramatically like it did for a long period of time without taking a moment to cool off, and eventually buyers will step in and push the price back. Now, that does not mean that we hit bottom. That does not mean we are going back to all-time highs. All it means is that we were due for a bit of a relief bounce, especially ahead of earnings. And as you can clearly see, we have gotten that, and I expect it to continue, especially because of a couple of earnings that were released. I'm going to go over it in just a minute. In this video, I want to talk about the overall state of the market, and then we're also going to talk about AMC because I haven't covered it in a little bit, and some people in the comments and also have reached out to me asking about what my thought process behind AMC is and where my position currently stands. I'm going to break everything down for you in this video. Let's get right into it. First off, as you can see, markets closing really strong ahead of a highly anticipated earnings. If you look at the indice that actually led today, it was the Russell 2000. Your small caps were leading the charge. A lot of sold stocks in that sector. But let's take a look at what happened. Take a look at Google crushing earnings, announcing a 20-to-1 stock split. If you are new to stock splits, please go Google Tesla and Nvidia stock split. Find out the dates when they were announced and find out the price action after those dates were first announced and when the stock split was put into effect. You can see how some of these stocks will move when stock splits are announced. So keep that in mind. You also have AMD crushing earnings as well, moving higher. And I did mention this from one of my pre-market picks. I said this on the 27th, that Netflix, the dip appears to be getting bought up. If it clears 400, look for a nice move back to 450. And we got that today. Very solid move, moving almost $100 in that just bullish direction. Look at this chart moving forward. But more importantly, and I'm going to talk all about how this relates to the entire market, is look at NVIDIA. Okay, now AMD is a semiconductor company, and as you can see, NVIDIA, because it's in the same sector, we talk about sector sentiment, it is getting a boost from AMD's earnings, and NVIDIA still has to report earnings a little bit later on in the month. But what does this do for the entire market? And when a lot of people have said, no, we're crashing, we're due for a crash, there's no money coming back into the market, let me tell you, stocks as big as NVIDIA, Netflix, AMD, all right, Google, these stocks, when they get moving, the entire market moves along with it. And this is just going to carry into the next day or so. Now, we do have some struggles, and because we are getting another drastic move, if you look at where SPY has gone over the last 5 days, I believe it's already bumped up, I think close to especially the QQQs, but even where SPY was at a bottom of 420, getting all the way back up to that 450, 452, 455 level going into tomorrow, that's a good range. So expect to see a little bit of profit taking happening, but this is exactly what a relief bounce is. And you can see all of these long wicks here. Buyers were readily stepping in to move the price forward. Now let's get into AMC, because a lot of people have reached out to me asking what my opinions. It did get a little bit of love this morning as the Q4 preliminaries were very positive. It popped this morning, got up to that $19 level. I still have that price level holding a little bit of resistance. Tried to test that again, couldn't, continue to get pulling down until we get that buying pressure. But before, a couple reasons why I haven't really been mentioning AMC that much is because it was being pulled down with the entire market. And my goal throughout this entire process has not been solely to cover AMC, okay? It has been to try to help everybody and share my views on what I'm seeing happening with the market. And because in 2020 and for a good chunk of 2021, the market was moving steadily in one direction, maybe seeing just a little bit of a pullback, but no real corrections. This was the first time a correction was happening, and because the Fed news and monetary policy was getting involved, I've been covering that very, exclusively to an extent, because that's where the attention was focused. But like I said, AMC wasn't really moving that much. It was just getting pulled down, still waiting for a lot of that buy pressure to happen. Now we do have the 13F filings beginning to get rolled out. They've been, that started for quarter four, that started January 1. They do have 45 days, which is coming down to an end. And as of looking at these, you still see a lot of positions open. The green here shows new positions that are open, but you do still have a lot of white, which is positions that are still open. Now, there has been some profit taking, as you can see, minus 34%, minus 28%, minus 40%, minus 63%, but there's still a lot of action and people still holding this. If you jump over here to market beat, from the information that gets shared with us, which obviously transparency is still an issue, okay, you can see that, and there's not a lot of selling. We saw that quarter two selling, which was natural after getting that pop to 72. But like I said, not a lot of selling, none really in quarter three. And so far in quarter four, what's been reported, the next 2 weeks will really give us a good indication. But more importantly, okay, I also don't want to just cover and try to say, because I see this continuously out there, that something is confirmed or something is going to happen tomorrow. I've tried to never do that on my channel, and I'm not solely going to create content just for the sole purpose, okay, for people to watch exactly what I have to say and try to send out unfulfilled promises, because inevitably we all remember the saying that nothing is guaranteed in life. Okay, so just remember that going forward. Also, I will say this too. AMC, it does not define all I do inside the market, and it will not only define what I do inside the market. So I will continue to play other stocks and try to help educate and share my experience and my knowledge with everybody I can. But so all of you know that I still have your backs 100%. Let's just take a quick peek at my Merrill portfolio, something that I really don't do that often. I really don't share that often. I don't actually utilize that often, because you've been watching my channel for a long period of time. You know that I trim down my long-term portfolio, and you also know that I utilize Thinkorswim pretty exclusively, because that's the charting that we use that is in black all the time. But I do want to point this out for everybody who decides to throw in their little 2 cents in the comments down below, that as of on the 28th, I actually purchased more AMC, 400 shares at $13.90. Scroll down a little bit more, had some testings here with some options just to see what the spread was like. Oh, on the 18th, bought another 200 shares. Scroll a little bit more. Oh, AMC on the 5th, another 200 shares at $23.10. Continued a little bit more, and on the 4th as well, another 200 shares of AMC. So I've continually added to my position. Now, I am not adding massive size because I already had a good chunk of size, and I don't want to allocate a massive amount of my portfolio to just one single position. I do have a family to look after. I want to ensure that I'm still responsible with my funds, but I am still here, and I am fighting for the bigger movement, which is change and transparency. Okay, my life, my night tonight is going to be the same, whether AMC was sitting at $16 or $500. I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna have my chicken tacos in my lettuce wraps. I'm probably gonna sit next to my girlfriend and my son, cuddle, watch a movie, and definitely pop a bag of Kirkland popcorn. Doesn't matter what the price is. Like I said, I'm here for the bigger movement, the life-changing. I'm 32 years old. It's time to think bigger. Another thing, last thing I do want to mention, something that Keenan Grace had tweeted that was beautiful. He said, if you're sitting there thinking, all right, and truly believing that you wish you sold AMC at $70, you're being very narrow-minded, and you're not seeing the bigger picture. I don't think he said narrow-minded, I'm saying that, but you're not seeing the bigger picture. And it's really relatable, all right? That's been my entire stance throughout AMC. So I'm not going to talk about anything that is completely subjective, all right, or sitting there saying that the government's, trying to calculate how many millions of dollars, all right, they're just going to write these checks to you guys for holding, because I was there for 2008 and I saw exactly what was swept under the rug. Okay, but it does not mean my stance is still here, as I'm still adding to my positions, as I just showed all of you. And I still do believe in the movement that we are fighting for and the price action behind AMC. So that's it for this video, guys. I'll see you in the next one.